Hello, y'all. It's good to be back again. Continue talking about chapter 5 of my book called Complete Project, which the topic in chapter 5 is saying sin cannot help complete your project due to its consequences. So, here again, here's my book. I think I need to be showing you my book every time. So you get familiar with my book anywhere you see it in the market or wherever, Amazon, eBay, whatever. Basically, we continue from the first, I was talking about sin and its consequences. So, one of the things we need to realize is that in trying to deal with sin, if you try to win against sin by your own strength, the result that you will get will be what is known as self-righteousness as far as God is concerned in the eyes of God. So, in winning against sin, by it has to be by the help of God, by the help of the Holy Spirit, and this same Holy Spirit is the one whom you don't want to continue sinning, so you don't grieve Him. The Bible talks about do not grieve the Holy Spirit, because it's Him who is our seal concerning the day of salvation. If you look at, I think it's Ephesians. Somewhere in the book of Ephesians, if you look at Ephesians, is it 3 or so? Just check your Bible or Google it, you will see there. So, if the problem, another issue with sin is that if you keep committing sin and you're gifted, you're serving God, but there is something in your life, that sin, you will notice that it always hinders you from liberty, serving God with liberty in His presence. Even when you come before Him, you feel dirty, you feel funny. These are all part of the consequences of sin. And, it's important to always to come before God and lay it before Him. And tell Him, as He, let the blood of Jesus Christ cleanse you. This is very important, because if that sin goes unchecked, you're going to be experiencing leakages in your life. The enemy will keep playing mind games with you, and that will just hinder you from being who you really are in God's presence, in your mindset, in your mind. He hasn't changed your position or that you're a child of God, but he messes your mind up. The devil keeps taking advantage of that sin of weakness in your life. This is the place where David said, I was going to give an example. David found himself in this situation in the Bible, and he knew the importance of the Holy Spirit in, I think it's Psalm 50 or 51. Then he began to pray to God that cast me not away from your presence, O Lord. He said, take not your Holy Spirit from me, because he wasn't himself before God anymore. So it's important for us to be aware of these things and make sure that we live a life in such a way that the Holy Spirit is honored in our life. So and this situation of David I talked about is a situation between him and Bathsheba. Remember when I discussed it the other time. So he felt condemned. Self-condemnation will come in, and that's the problem with self-righteousness. Once you try to deal with it by your own strength, and you cannot do that, the next thing the enemy used to play on you will be self-condemnation. It's important that you understand this thing and you just hand it over to the Holy Spirit. And if you look at the case of Samson and Delilah, these were part of the leakages that occurred in Samson's life until he got to the place where he lost nearly everything, even lost his vision. So please, it's important for us to understand this situation of dabbling into sin and give way for that, so that the Holy Spirit will be truly honored in our life. Let's move to the next chapter. God bless you.